フルカウンター
Lads, King of Fighters Part 2 has just ended, and boys, this wasn't the hypest collaboration to return, but it was a good insight what we could be getting for when Attack on Titan, Slime, and also ReZero does return. So, for my next few videos that I may be doing on this channel, I might spread them out a little bit, is that I'm going to break down what we could be getting for Part 2 for firstly Attack on Titan, and then maybe ReZero and Stranger Things, probably not Stranger Things, but maybe ReZero. I don't think I'll be doing Slime Part 2, because we already have leaks of what's going to be coming, and you know, there's so much stuff about that that's already been kind of leaked. I'd rather not talk about it because at that point it's not really speculation and more of like actual just leaked information, where I think I can do it for Attack on Titan and also ReZero, and I guess if you want Stranger Things, but probably not, who does. So boys, let's just jump in and talk about what we could be getting and also what we're returning for Part 2 of Attack on Titan. However, I should start by saying there is no leaked information. This is not returning anytime soon. My guess would be probably around May next year, because that is kind of the anniversary when it released on JP, and they kind of did the same thing this year with King of Fighters. That released right on Halloween, and we got it at the exact same date as well. So if they're gonna do yearly releases to when they actually came out for the first time, then I expect it in like 4 months time, which is kind of standard, because if we are gonna get in Slime Part 2, let's say towards the end of the year, then like, or at the start of the year, there's a big gap there, and I think that could work out quite well. Alright, so before we break down what's new with the Part 2, if it was to come out, let's start by going through what's going to be returning. So obviously the first thing will be the first 4 original characters. So you get Time Shifter or Time from Eren, SR Eren, that's his normal Cadet Corps 1, Mikasa, and lastly, Levi. So these are the 4 characters that will be returning. For the 2 events that are also returning, we'll have the Titan Conquest, is where you verse the actual Cloth Titan. It's nothing new right now. It's literally the exact same with Pure and Pew, but rather than it just being, you know, him, it's the Cloth Titan. So it looks infinitely better, and it makes more sense because you're actually on the wall. This is a really fun event if you've not played it, even though we've played it a lot of times now with this Pure and Pew event, but it's so fun just to see it, like, seeing it in game. It's so sick. The next event will be Titan Elimination, which has the same gimmick as this bird right here, where you have to go on your certain HP, you defeat the boss, and the more damage you take per turn is carried over to the next quest. And also in this missions, you do actually versus the Armoured Titan, which at 3 rewards. I think during the time, this was like one of the best ways to get 5-star materials, which don't think we need now, but it was good back then, and maybe it's still good for new players if it does return like that. I'm not too sure. Maybe they buff it, because I think they nerfed it on global. But one update that might be overshadowed by a lot of you lot is the fact that we are going to get return probably off the stamps here. For some reason, they only ever did for Attack on Titan, which is kind of a shame because they should have done it for every single collaboration. But yeah, boys, they should return. I assume they would go into the Hawk Pass, where you can buy them right here, where you see Escanor, for example. That would make the most sense to me. And the best thing that I believe they were paid for on JP, or I guess on Global and JP, and the actual original Hawk Pass, we just spend money for it. Or if they time it properly, they could put it in here too. But I'd say it's more likely to go in the Logi shop, because it's been like 2 years by then. They might as well give it to everyone for free. And the standard for collaborations, they should also put all the actual SSRs in the actual Platinum Coin shop. But since this actual collaboration we did get the last time, we did get a free SSR Eren 6-6 if you played the events logged in. Where I think if you missed it, or if you didn't log in back then, if they want to give it again, they can. But I think the best outcome would probably be able to put SSR Eren in the Gold Coin shop, where you can just buy him 6-6. So if you did miss him, or if you want to get dupes or whatever you want to do with the character, then you can buy him in the actual Gold Coin shop. But I think it's more likely they're just going to give him free for the event, so we'll see. But as long as you get him 6-6 again, if you missed it, then that'll be fine. Lads, that is everything that will be returning. Let's go over what new stuff will be coming if it was to actually come out. And let's start off with the actual units. Now, if you go look at the actual units we got, you probably won't be mistaken to think we're only going to get 2 new characters, because we got Terry and Iori. But the difference here was the actual King of Fighters collaboration was the first time they ever released 4 SSRs rather than 1 SR, like how we got Rimuru Slime and also SR Eren. So it's very likely we're going to get 3 new characters. And also with the leaks we saw Slime, we actually apparently we're getting Dimula Rimuru, we're getting Veldora, and also Shion. So that's 6 SSRs in total, or base SSRs. And the fact that King of Fighters only got 2 as well, so it's actually 6 in total, it's very likely they're going to release 3 new characters for Slime and also Attack on Titan. So they did start with 1 SR. So let's just break down who we're getting. Now, the first character is very, very obvious. It's going to be Armin. This guy was skipped on, even though he could have been an SR if they really wanted to. But if it's going to return and we're going to get an actual SSR version now, it's going to be pretty sick. So I'm not really going to go over what they could do, because that will be a whole video in itself. But Armin is most most likely some sort of booster, maybe a human booster. That'd be pretty good, and maybe some sort of a gimmicky character, rather than just a straight out DPS, because you know Armin's not really known to fight. I'm not going to spoil anything, so I think we're going to keep it to probably season 1 Armin, if you get what I'm saying. And then moving over, the next character is highly likely here because we have his model already in game, and it's gonna be the Armoured Titan. Mainly because he already has a model in game and he has even animation, so it makes sense to actually give him for a character. It will just be him, not his actual human form into transforming. It will just be the Armoured Titan. 1, to avoid spoilers, but also 2, that means if he actually is, you know, his transformed state, you can actually customize him. And I'll go over that next later on. But yeah, it'd be pretty cool to customize the Armoured Titan, give him some outfits, give him some back bling maybe. It'll be pretty sick to see him. It'll look weird. It will look weird, but hey, it could work. And I'll very much appreciate the fact you can customize him. Now, the next one. Now, if Tony's watching, big up you, lad. It's not going to be Hanji, or Hanj, however you say your name. It's more or less now, this you could be disagreeing with me here, lads. I think it's highly likely the actual last character we're going to get in is going to be Titan Eren. Not this one that transforms. I think we're going to get a base just Eren literally start off as a Titan form to where you can do different moves. Now, the reason why I say that is because, well, you could argue we're going to get Season 4 Eren, but then that means, well, you have to get the actual outfit. But I think what he could do is actually give this Eren the Season 4 outfit when he's wearing that black coat, for example. That would work perfectly as well. But I think the actual Titan Eren, the problem with this one, which I go over the buffs later on, is, yeah, you never see Titan Eren. You know, that's the one you want to see. You want to see Titan Eren, but you never do. Because he either dies too quick or takes too long to get there. Or, you know, the game's kind of over by the time he transforms. So I think base form, you just get the Titan Eren. They could also base stuff on the new season, like his actual moves and what he could do when he gets certain powers I'm not going to say. But yeah, I think that would be pretty sick as well. And also, lads, the most important part, like I said with the Armoured Titan, you better customize him. Because that's one bad thing about this Eren. Well, it's not that bad, but you can customize the human form, but then when you transform, he's you know, just his plain naked self, right? So if you do actually get, you know, the actual base Titan Eren as an actual character, then you'll be able to add, like, you know, actual weapons, change his hairstyle, and add even actual out clothes for him. Wouldn't look too weird in the game because we have giants. You know, it wouldn't look too bad, but I think it could work, and I would actually kind of like to see it. Alright, so for the typing of what color they're going to be in game, this is going to be an assumption here, but assuming we're getting 3 characters, they're going to be one of each color here. And I think it's safe to say that Eren, if he was going to be a new character, it would be a red version. Maybe because we already have a green and a blue version, so getting a red one will make so much sense here to get all 3 types of Erens. And then even though it's not the same name Eren, this would be a different one, so we have to get new outfits for him. Yeah, I think it's safe to say he'd be red if he was to come out to the game. And then Armin and the Armoured Titan could be 50-50, whatever color you want to be. Just kind of change them. But I think if anything, it'd be blue, or maybe, you know what? I think I kind of did it wrong here, but I guess the Armoured Titan could be green, so Eren does more damage towards him. I guess the Armoured Titan being more of a counter towards Titan Eren would make a little bit of sense here. If anyone's gonna be a counter, it would be him compared to actual characters in game. Alright, so one thing we learned from the actual King of Fighters collaboration was the fact that we do actually get more outfits for the characters, which means Eren, you know, Mikasa and Levi are all going to get one new outfit. So I think the best thing to do here, like I mentioned early on, is to give them their Season 4 outfit, since it kind of is like a Season 4 collaboration in a sense. So we're going to get the black suit of Levi and obviously Mikasa, make Mikasa like a man, basically. And of course, like I said early on, Eren, give them the actual one where you wear either the hobo version or this one here, like I said early on. So yeah, I think that'll be the best one. It was a little weird to pay for them, but I think it's the best outcome here. And for other characters, I'm not going to go through all of them. If anything, I'll just go through Armin quickly. I think Armin once again is going to have the same outfit as Mikasa and Levi, so the black outfit from Season 4. But I know it's more of a meme thing from the actual high school thing, but it'd be pretty sick if you can get like a little coat thing, like how you can see on screen now, where he wears his little blanket. It's more of a meme, but to be fair, I would love it to do that, because he did the actual spring cleaning one, which was kind of a meme itself. So maybe the devs are woke and they add this, but probably not. So one thing I kind of like what he did with the King of Fighters collaboration was the fact that he changed the actual loading screen or the wallpaper. For example, on screen now was the original one, and then now is the new one. So as you can see, they kind of slipped in Terry and Iori, just like made it really small just to fit him in. So I think they're going to do that again for this new one. But obviously, if you look at the original Attack on Titan poster or login screen, you can see we already have the Armoured Titan there. So he's already done. You don't need to actually change anything there. Eren's already there, so it wouldn't make too much sense to get the, you know, Titan Eren there, because then there'd be 2 Erens. It don't make sense. So Titan Eren we can completely avoid, but one character that does need to fit in will be obviously Armin. So There isn't much room, but I think you could squeeze him in right there, just like him flying in a little bit. That would make a bit of sense. Or, you know what? They could even make him up at the top and maybe like him versing the Cloth Titan to give it some lore maybe. But I think if anything, it would be next to his friends at the bottom, right? And him flying in would make a lot of sense there. So that will be the wallpaper. I'm very curious how they're going to do that because this would make a lot of sense to me, actually, if they just like put him there, the top right, because there isn't much room to fit him in. But we'll see if they ever do change it and what they do. But yeah, that is the wallpaper. Alright, so the end of the video, we're going to be going through what buffs they could be getting and also what relics they could be getting. Now, the reason why the King of Fighters didn't get any buffs because they didn't really need it. Literally at the time when they released the King of Fighters Collaboration Part 2 on JP, you know, Kyo was still top tier. He was literally in the best team in the game, so they did not need any buffs. Now, however, I mean, you could argue when the actual Attack on Titan was released on JP more than years ago or like last year, they needed a buff. So I think if anything, if we're going to get an actual collaboration that need buffs, it would be Attack on Titan and also Slime. Just go over what he could do. Okay, so starting off with Eren, one important notice here is the fact that you can't really buff skills because a lot of characters already kind of share these skills. And yeah, to be fair, it's not the skills. If anything, more or less all of the characters need some stat buff here because yeah, like 30% crit resistance is terrible, crit chance is terrible, resistance is okay a little bit, could be a bit higher, life steal's not too bad actually, but I think about anything, all the characters need a stat buff, so that would just be a flat out buff for every single Attack on Titan unit. But one thing that could change is the actual passive. So what I think he should do here is, well, make it so at 4 orbs he does extra 50% damage. If you don't know, I think Hauser has it too, and many characters have it in the game. Yes, you see here, increase crit chance by 10% for each orb the hero has. So this is exactly what Eren has, to where it increases damage by 10%, but an additional 50% when it's completely full. So, you know, if Eren has max orb gauge, he's now doing an extra 100% damage rather than just 50. So I think that's what we should do with Eren. Just it's already in the game, just they might as well, right, just to make him do more damage in case he does have max orb before he does transform. Makes a lot of sense there. Alright, so my biggest problem with Eren is, this is ultimate, is his 1 turn attack rate stats debuff, which, I mean, it's terrible, it just is. So, I think what he should do is, be honest boys, make it 5 turns, so where, like, it lasts throughout your whole duration of your Titan form, and maybe even make it a grey debuff even, because, being real, a lot of characters in the game right now, Margaret wins the game if you ult, the one wins the game if you ult, King, Bon, if you ult with those guys, you kind of just win the game because they're so powerful. But then you have Eren, to where you transform and you get a little measly attack debuff for 1 turn where they can just move skills. It's yeah, it's a little bit shocking. So what he should do is, yeah, like I said, make it to where it's an actual deadly thing, or hell, even give it a 6/6 ability to where it does something different. But I think if anything, they're gonna fix the problem, but just by making it where it's like, you know, attack really starts down by like a couple turns rather than just 1. It was stupid even on day 1 on JP. So yeah, that needs to change. Alright, so for Mikasa, she has a lot of potential here and a lot of stuff she could change. So firstly, giving her a stat buff is going to be massive because you've got some of her passive does increase her actual stats here, which imagine she got a 30% buff overall. That means she'll act like how she does in game right now with max passive, but then plus she can get more passive as well. So yeah, I think massive stat buff would be nice for her, but also this skill. She's the only character in the game that has a secret technique on this AoE skill, so this is something they can change because they can't really change a poison skill because, you know, other characters already have that in game. So yeah, this one they could work on. So if you look at right now, secret technique 20%, that is not great, because when we look at actual characters that have secret technique on the ultimates, at 6/6, bear in mind, you know, at 1/6 it is 20%, but it goes to 60%. So I think, you know what, considering it's an actual skill and there's no way to increase it, they might just well just make it 60% rather than 20, because I mean, boys, if you ever use Mikasa, she's not that great. Her skills, I mean, she does damage later on. Like, literally, if they gave this passive to what she has for any other character, but like with good skills, then she'll be a bit cracked. To be fair, I think this passive is quite good, but if you look at someone like, you know, Terry, who gets 20% all stats for just using 1 actual counter skill and it can stack a swap to 60%, I think they could increase it. So I think they should do what they did with Zeldris, where they lower the limit but also increase the actual rate. So make it 6% and also make it 8 times, so the overall percentage is 40%, but also it's a lot easier to get max passive now because you only have to hit twice, right? Or I guess 8 times. So yeah, that is how they can buff obviously Mikasa. Lots of potential here, but yeah, overall I think it's actually kind of one of the better characters that could get a massive buff. Alright, so Levi, this guy has, yeah, so he's a crit unit, and, you know, he is guaranteed a crit on the lowest enemy, or the lowest HP enemy, but if you look at his skills or stats, they're just terrible. His crit chance is 15% for a crit unit. That is terrible, and, you know, you're probably arguing, but he's guaranteed a crit anyway, but yeah, but when you're using this skill, which is an AoE, having 50% crit chance is, yeah, you're not going to crit, which means you're not going to recover any HP, apart from that one character you do crit, which is why I think you should definitely buff his crit chance to at least, like, 70%, man, or 60 or something, just because 50% is too low. Even his crit damage, I know he's guaranteed to crit, but in this meta right now, it's nah, it needs to be like 200%, 190 or something, man, because it's way too low. So yeah, overall, like the other two, a nice little stat buff will do him good, but also more or less focus on the crit chance and crit damage, because yeah, I mean, boys, I mean, we have King literally watches anyone with his crit chance and his crit damage, so why not give this guy an actual good chance to where he actually can crit a lot of times, even without the lowest HP enemy, but also make him do some good damage too. And to give him some diversity a little bit, maybe just make it so it's not the lowest HP enemy, but the lowest two. So rather than him guaranteed crit on one person, he's guaranteed crit on two people, just so there's more options to go for a certain character. And yeah, I think that'll work really well with his actual, you know, this skill, because you're not going to increase his crit chance, then at least guaranteeing 2 crits on 2 characters, because you have the lowest HP compared to the highest enemy, right? I think that'll work out quite well. And I think at the start of the game, if you have the highest enemy, it guarantees crit on everyone if they all have the same amount of HP. But yeah, I think that will be really good for Levi, to where he's actually, like, you know, not a terrible crit unit. Alright, so last, let's go over the actual relics here. So, for Titan Eren, honestly, I would have gave him actual, you know, the relic the Harmless has, where you get max orb straight away at the start of the match. That would have been perfect for him, but I think it could do a little better, and more or less just make him all rush faster. So, what I think he should do is, if you get a hit on a guaranteed character, or you just hit an enemy, you get 1 orb. So that'll be very good to actually do an AoE attack, because that means you'll get 3 orbs. Now you may think it's broken, and maybe it is, right? But let's be real, lads. We have characters like Barn, King, where they just wipe everyone out turn 1. Let us use the characters. Let me transform. So let me do an AoE skill, and let me get 3 orbs, to where I can get max orbs faster, and maybe even, you know what? Having max orb for the passive I just said before, to where you get an extra 100% damage, you could do some crazy damage with Eren. Maybe even at the start of the turn. Imagine, right? At the start of the turn, you get a free murder, to where this is a tier 2. You do an AoE wipe. Now you have max orb gauges, and then boom, you use that tier 2 card that is now doing an extra 100% damage, to where you can one-shot Festival King. Imagine. That would be very good, and that might make him top tier, to where you can actually transform, because yeah, and even when he transforms, he'll be able to rush ultimate faster, because you've got to remember, this guy has to get what? 10 ultimate gauge to kill 1 person, because his actual ultimate is not AoE. Where you look at, you know, King, if he gets ultimate, he just wins the game. So I think that's not going to be the worst option, to where you can actually all rush really fast. And it will also make his actual Titan Eren form a lot better too. Alright, so Mikasa, honestly, this one makes so much sense, lore-wise as well, is, at the start of the turn for 3 turns, she is, in Shadow Effect. You know when, you can't target an enemy? Yeah, as you can see right now, the freeze deal on the actual game right now is, hidden. You actually can't select her. So, yeah, I think they should give, for a natural relic, give Mikasa this effect, because that'll work quite well, because the thing with Mikasa is the best way to counter her is to literally just target her first and kill her first. But if she's hidden, to where you don't need a taunt unit, that means you cannot select her, but you can still do AoE skills. Not the greatest, but hey, single target characters aren't going to one-shot her like, you know, Escanor or some crazy unit. But then again, we are in the meta to where maybe it misses. Who knows? But I think if anything, firstly give her that skill, but also, since you could just do AoE effects, also give 20% of her actual stats to the other enemies, to where your allies don't die in 1 hit, to where you can actually build up a passive and also make your team more stronger, rather than her just being more of a tanky unit. Alright, so lastly, I think for Levi's actual relic, what he could do is either 1, do something to where every time he crits, he increases his actual crit damage, to where he's more of an actual threat, really. But other than that, I think what he could do, and this is just something out of the blue that I just thought of, but maybe, you know what, if he is guaranteed crits on 2 people this time rather than just 1, like I said early on, what he could do is actually make it to where if he crits someone, he actually attack stables them for like 1 turn, which, I mean, once again, it's a broken skill to have, but like, is that a bad thing? Like, because we have King in the game, we have, you know, Barn, Escanor. Attack saving him would be very good against, you know, King, against Barn, but then Barn will have the highest HP, so it's not actually going to crit him, because your crit chance is terrible, Levi. So yeah, I think, yeah, honestly, attack save would be really great, especially if he can crit 2 people, like I said early on. Alright, so that is going to wrap up today's video. I know it's a little bit of a long one. It took even longer to actually make and edit this video, but I hope you guys did enjoy it. And it's always fun speculating, man, what could be coming. And hey, if it does come out one day, then what we can do is come back to this video and kind of compare my version of part 2 with their version of part 2 and see what is better. And yeah, it's always gonna be a fun time. So boys, hope you guys did enjoy it. If you have made it to the end, then thank you for watching all the way through, but also make sure to leave a like, man, because yeah, the Grand Cross videos aren't getting pushed out too much now because I've been doing slime and I've been lacking on the upload, so I'm trying to get back out there. So boys, thank you for watching, and yeah, honestly, any criticism would be greatly helpful, especially when making other collaborations or other part 2s in the future, so I have more ideas on what to do. So boys, thank you for watching, and yeah, peace.